Hello, I am Sharat Chandra, student of PGB first year in IIM Trichy, and this video is made towards the partial fulfillment of the course Indian Economy and Policy. Today I am going to talk about Universal Basic Income, otherwise known as UBI, which also appeared in the Indian Economy Survey of 2016-17. According to the last report on poverty estimate submitted by the Rangarajan Committee in 2014, approximately one third of the Indian population still lives below the poverty line. This kind of poverty, along with leakages in the welfare schemes, has prompted policymakers to look for other alternatives. One of the suggestions that has come up is universal basic income, which more and more countries have been experimenting recently. Now, the idea of universal income is very ancient, where philosophers have suggested to provide some basic income to every individual provided they are willing to work. And the idea is formed in such a way that a certain small income sufficient for necessaries should be provided unconditionally to all. In the Indian context, universal basic income has three major features. First, it is universal and not targeted. It makes sense in the Indian context because of the kind of leakages that exist in the schemes provided by the government. The second of the scheme is cash transfer in place of in kind. The third feature is it is unconditional. Cash transfers are not tied to exhibiting any kind of behavior, and the people are free to spend the cash as they want. Two of the most popular arguments in favor of in against UBI are it would reduce the motivation for work, and another one is it is largely unaffordable. In a pilot study conducted in association with UNICEF in the state of Madhya Pradesh, it was found that people did not spend the money on luxuries or leisures, but they started investing in farms and other business activities. There is an argument saying as more and more laborers move away from the farms to do their own businesses, could lead to an increase in the demand of farm laborers, thereby increasing the wages of farm laborers. More importantly, the pilots have showed that who received grants undertook small investments in the form of buying seeds, repairs of their equipments, and which has resulted in increasing productivity. Thus, even though number of hours worked reduced, the productivity has increased. In fact, this is one of the basic arguments of universal basic income, that minimum income security should be provided to all, which results in a better life for every individual in our country. The second main argument against universal income is the cost. One of the estimates says that paying a basic income would cost our exchequer a lot. Presently, 4.2% of the GDP is spent on subsidies, whereas to provide universal basic income to all the individuals, it would require at least 11% of the GDP, which is way below of what presently government gives. Now, however, the pilot of 2011 shows that even much smaller grants might do the work. Grants almost equal to 10 rupees per day or 300 rupees per month was given to the individuals, and it was exhibited that the people were happy and satisfied, and there was an increase in their productivity. Now, accounting for the inflation from 2011, even though we fixed the monthly income as rupees 400 for people in rural areas and 500 rupees or 550 rupees for those in the urban areas, I think the total expenditure would be 4 to 4.5% of GDP, which is almost equal to what the government is providing now. It is yet to be decided if the transfers would be in place of existing subsidies or will complement them. And proper studies are yet to be carried out before the full implementation. Thank you. The reference for the content is taken from an article on LiveMint saying it is time for universal. Is it time for universal basic income in India by Tadit Kundu? Thank you.